Welcome, everybody. I don't know where that accent came from. Um, anyway, we're back. We're gonna do it something a little different this week, which I'm very, very excited about. So Dan and I here, we've been doing a lot of sports betting and picking and all that. Successfully and unsuccessfully. It comes and goes. But we figured, why not talk about it and hey, make a joint challenge where we're gonna start with $10 and hopefully, if there's a YouTube video tomorrow, then it means it went well, and hopefully move that up to 1,000. So I know there's not a lot of sports going on, so most of it is going to be baseball related. I know we haven't touched on baseball in quite some time, if at all, actually, on our
Yeah, I think this
channel.
is gonna be our first time because I don't think we've ever. I'm the only one that really likes baseball. I feel like so we never
Yeah,
like really.
yeah. I mean, I remember touching about when the Braves won the
Oh
World
yeah,
Series, but
yeah,
apart from that, it's been. I mean, I've been getting into it mostly. I mean, it looks like a trend. As soon as I start throwing money at a sport, I end up liking it.
yeah,
So hey, if you don't like a sport, bet on it. You'll end up liking it.
yeah,
But we also have esports going on during the weekends. We have Formula One going on the weekends.
yeah.
By esports, I mean specifically League of Legends for those nerds out there like me. Let's go. And we also have soccer, especially in Latin America. We have the Copa Sudamericana, which is essentially the Europa League of Latin America. So we have some, flexibility.
Also, tomorrow is the Women's Euro for soccer.
There we go.
So I mean, there's gonna be some. I'll
Yeah.
probably put something on that.
Look, we have. I mean, technically, there's a lot of stuff that we can bet on. I mean, honestly, I guess darts is a thing as well.
Oh hell no!
Golf and all that stuff. So look, we'll stay to what we know.
Yeah, exactly.
And what we can research about. Hopefully, this will become a bigger thing with NFL, since all of us are all big NFL junkies. But yeah, I mean, without further ado, we'll just start talking about what the chances are, what we can do, what parlays we can do, if we're going to do parlays, what's our strategy. We haven't really discussed any of this, so this is literally, we have an hour or so to just figure out our first day,
Yeah.
how we're going to spread this $10. Are we just going to flip a coin and put it on the 2-to-1 odds and hope to get 20 tomorrow? Or are we going to split it out with a big parlay with $1, maybe like five or here to double it up? Hedging. I don't know what you think of hedging. I think it's a terrible idea, but it does soothe your
Yeah,
your feeling.
I guess it depends how much money you got riding on it. It all
That's
depends.
true.
I
That's
think
true.
if you're only gonna win like $50, I don't bother.
That's true. I mean, for example, the one that I had over the weekend. So I hit a parlay of five. It was Formula One team winning, so it was Ferrari. Two LCS for esports, and two baseball games, which all hit. But I remember I was waiting on the. I was more nervous about the Formula One, so I was thinking about hedging it, and I got a free bet from Bet365. Shout out to Bet365, feel free to sponsor us. Um, I was cruising and I was like, oh, maybe I should put something on Red Bull just in case. So I put a free bet there, just at the very least, make some money back. But it was stressful, man. It was the one time. I'm a Mercedes fan. I know you don't. Well, you've been watching a little bit more recently, but I'm a Mercedes guy, and Hamilton was having a race, and I was like, I went to my hair appointment, so I missed the race. Apparently, one of the best races of the year. And all I was seeing in my app was Hamilton almost going for the win. And I was like, if I swear to God, I'm a big Hamilton fan, and if I lose to him winning the race, it's such a bittersweet moment. But it is what it is. Won the parlay, so now here we are. We're both successful in our way. Dan is you can talk about a little bit about your experience.
Yeah, I mean, I'm trying to get into Formula One. I mean, I watched it as a kid because my dad's really into it, and I feel like when I moved to the Middle East, I just like stopped watching it and never really got back into it. Also, like my having someone from your country racing makes a big difference. Like David Coulthard, because he's Scottish,
Mm-hmm.
I would watch all the time. But then when he retired and like Michael Schumacher retired and everything, that's when I kind of like dropped off my interest in it. So I'm trying to bring it back. I with no Premier League, no NBA, no NHL, no NFL. Like this is the best time for me to get back into Formula One.
Yeah.
I think so. I'm trying. This weekend I did watch it, and it was probably like the best race to watch. It was like absolute mayhem.
Yeah.
I actually got my girlfriend's family. Like they were like it was 4th of July, so everyone was there. So everyone was there for the weekend, and I had it on the big screen TV. I was the only one who knew. It was like watching, but everyone was like asking me questions I actually didn't know the answer to. But yeah, I mean, I mostly right now I'm on baseball. So I live in Pittsburgh, so I go to a lot of Pirates games. But I'm an Astros fan, so I'm watching like as soon as work finishes, or during work sometimes. I'm watching baseball from like 4 o'clock until like 10 o'clock, so every single day. So I'm really into it. I track my bets really closely. I have a spreadsheet of it, and my MLB record this year is 75.41% hitting. So it's pretty good. Could be a lot better. I've had some really tough beats. So, but yeah, I'm excited for this though. This is the one I'm most excited for.
Yeah, you better bring that 75% ratio here, man.
Yeah, that'd be
that
nice.
25. But yeah, I mean, look, you're going to the game right after this. You're going to Yankees Pirates game.
Yankees Pirates, yeah.
So we can talk about that. I mean, Yankees is, from my understanding, one of the best teams in the league right now.
For
Not
sure.
the best.
I would say the hottest team, or one of.
Isn't it one of the teams that the overs is something that you look at a lot? There's a lot of runs coming in from the Yankees, and
also the fact that the Pirates give up. I feel like every Pirates game is super high scoring. I mean, this weekend the Pirates lost 19-2. They also were in like a 8-7 game, I think, on Friday or Saturday. So they let up a lot of runs and they score a lot of runs. But the Yankees are, they just score a crap ton of runs. I want the Pirates to win, but obviously I don't think that's going to happen. Are we going to jump into who we think our pick should be?
Yeah, I mean, well, we're talking about this. I was just reading a little bit. So the Pirates are probably the bottom fifth of points per game, runs per game. And apparently their matches between these two, New York and Pittsburgh, has been under in 5 of the last 7 matchups. So that's definitely not a confident pick to go for the over, even as we just said. But I think the money line would definitely be the.
I think this. I mean, it's only 1.44. I think last I checked the Yankees. But the Yankees are 12-2 in their last 14 games against National League opponents, and then 10-5 against the Pirates in the last couple of years. And this Yankees team is way better than previous Yankee teams. For tonight, Yankees have one of their best starting pitchers coming in. So, I mean, apart from losing against the Astros, I think that the Yankees have consistently beat up on really small teams. And I think this is going to be a complete sweep. I don't see the Pirates, putting up much of a fight at all. I would actually be comfortable putting Yankees -1.5 on this one.
That was going to be my suggestion there, because again, like you said, it's 1.5 to 1 for the win. Might as well bring it up to 1.85, I think it is.
Yeah.
And the Yankees are coming from a loss against the Guardians, so hey.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and I don't think Jose Quintana is that good. I think he's probably one of the better Pirates pitchers, but it doesn't make him a good pitcher. Just because he's one of the best on the team doesn't mean he's a good pitcher at all. So, they struggle to get runs up. The Yankees are the opposite, they score in bunches. So, I think Yankees -1.5. Let's talk about other picks before we go there.
Yeah, of course.
And then we can decide on which way.
Honestly, I'm gonna I have the page open. I'm just adding all the odds that we're talking, and then we can remove as we go, add as we go.
I can talk about another game. My second favorite game. Because I'm an Astros fan, you'll probably see me picking the Astros a lot, but I think that's warranted considering how freaking good they are. I think they won 8-2 against the New York teams. They swept, or 6-2, sorry. They swept the Mets, and then split the series against the Yankees, which, I mean, away from home at the Yankees is tough to play at, and then sweep a really hot Mets team. I mean, Mets are pretty good. At the time, I think they were leading the league in batting average, and the Astros threw a combined no-hitter against them, so it was super impressive. Houston dug one deep last night. I mean, they were down 5-0 early against the Kansas City Royals. I was sweating really hard, but this team is one. Their pitching is incredible. I think they've probably got one of the top pitching staffs in the league, and then the fact that they can just score at will whenever they want. I mean, batters 1 through 6 are just, any of them can hit a home run at any point. And this is like a big game because one of the Astros former pitchers is coming. It's Zach Greinke, I think, is pitching tonight, so it's going to be a tough game for him. The Kansas City Royals are just not a good team. Yeah. And then who's pitching for the Astros tonight? I can't remember. Let me see. Luis Garcia. So I mean, he's got the third best ERA in the team. So I have no problem putting this -1.5 as well. I mean, I'd easily comfortably put the Astros to win. After last night, I'm sure the Kansas City Royals are pretty deflated after being 5-0 up and then 6-1 up and then blowing that lead in the 9th inning. So
I think they're hot. And they're coming in hot.
I mean, the Astros are hot, so
yeah. Especially against, like you said, I mean, the Astros are 7-0 in their last 7 games.
Yeah.
Let me just make sure I said right. 7 in a row after losing a game to the Yankees. That's all.
Yeah.
So they're a hot team, and like you said, right after a freaking comeback like that, that's insane. Do you think that's the -1.5? I like the -1.5 over the money line. But what about the over?
Okay, so this is something I was actually looking into the other day because in my head it always feels like the Astros are just beating up on teams. But the Astros are one of the worst teams to bet the over on because the line is set so high on the Astros because they are a team that bats well, hits a ton of home runs. The line is always super high. I think it's like 8.5 or 9.5 tonight. It's just way too high for me to comfortably pick them because if the other team, and it's mostly because the other team doesn't score many runs against the Astros. The Astros have an elite pitching staff. Last night was kind of like an anomaly. The guy who was pitching for the Astros, it was his first game in, I think, 60 days. He just came off the injured list. It happens when you've been out for so long. You're going to give up those runs. But the guys who are pitching, tonight, tomorrow night, on Thursday night, those are the guys who are giving up, 1 or 2 runs, maybe at most, every single night. So I'm not comfortable at all placing an over on the Astros unless it's an alternate money line, like a money line with, over 6.5 or 5.5. I'm more comfortable with that because I think that's achievable. But in my head, it's like I think 1.5 is -1.5 or money line Astros is the safer bet just because, sometimes it is hard for the teams against the Astros to actually get those runs.
Yeah, I mean, that totally makes sense. I mean, I was looking to the last 14 games, and I think the 15th game was when they lost 7-0 against the White Sox, I think it was.
Yeah.
But from the last 14 games, only one team has scored more than 3 runs against the Astros, which is the Yankees.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And it's the Yankees, like the best hitting team in the whole league.
Yeah, so you're absolutely right. I mean, the over is 8. So you're banking on the Astros to score 9 runs, essentially. At the very least, score 7 or 8. And sure, it's doable, but at some point,
yeah. And the Kansas City Royals pitcher Zach Greinke is he's a good pitcher. He hasn't been great this year, but he's coming back to Houston. It's going to be emotional for him. It might be just one of those things where he throws an absolute perfect game.
Yeah.
And it's up to the Astros to get that 1 home run or a couple of hits here and there. So, Astros don't be hitting too well, and also they've got great pitchers. So just there's a recipe for, not being great.
Yeah, I mean, and look, like you said, the -1.5 is what I think 1.8 again, 1.83 or something like that.
Yeah.
If we were to look at an over of 6.5, it goes down to 1.38. So it's it's even lower than the money line. So
right.
by that end, I totally agree. Obviously, the safer one would always be the money line. But like you said, it is a hot team, and it is only a win of 2 runs, which they have been doing. Not the last 2 games, but every other game before. Actually, no, never mind.
I know they didn't do it last night because I had the Astros -1.5, and I was when they were down 5-0. I was like, oh my god,
Okay, so
I can't
now,
believe it.
so now the doubt comes in a little bit because
Yeah.
so last game 7-6. Before that 4-2. So it. I guess it. No, never mind. That is 2. So it beats the spread. Then 9-1, 8-1, 2-1 doesn't, but 2-0 does. 9-1, 6. Well, 6-3 was a loss. 3-0, 3-1. Okay, no, yeah, -1.5. Yeah, if it's 2 runs, hey, go big or go home.
Well, I mean, because this is the start. I mean, this is us trying to do the 10 to 1,000 challenge. I'm more than happy just to take Astros and Yankees money line, like simple, flat out. Like it's not gonna be great odds. It's probably gonna be 2-1, there or thereabouts. So I'm more than happy to take that because it is -1.5 is like it's sometimes difficult to achieve, especially when it's really difficult to guess what the Stros and the Yankees, what kind of night they're gonna have. So another game I do want to point to before we kind of like make our selection is the Mets versus Cincinnati Reds. Mets are a very hot and very cold team, both at the same time. They've been, coming into this month, coming into last month, they were just the best team, one of the best teams in the league, on a roll, top of their division, and now they've kind of like, after getting swept by the Astros, they've kind of cooled off quite significantly, and the Braves are starting to like sneak in behind them in their division. But they are playing against the Reds. Reds are one of the worst teams in the league. So I think there is some value there. I think it's 1.5 they're sitting at right now. That is something, something you want to consider dipping into. I wouldn't do any minuses. I'll just take the New York Mets straight up because they are the away team. So the one thing I do hate about baseball is like I feel as though if you're the away team, there's so much more pressure because you're batting first. I love betting on like the home team. Okay. So yeah, it's just something to consider.
Okay. Well, I'll just put the attention lastly on the Braves because we've been talking about.
Oh yeah, Braves are your team, man. Let's hear about it.
Yeah, let's cry about it. So I don't know. I mean, obviously, I got into baseball due to one of my friends, and he's a Braves fan, big Braves fan. He watches all the games. Even if he can't that night, he will tell me to shut up, and he'll watch it later fully. Not even just highlights, just the full game. So kudos to him for doing that. I don't know if I could be able to do that. I could do it with Formula One because it's just once a week. But anyway, the Braves have been a tricky team to bet on. I mean, they're a hot team. They're a good team. It's just betting is. So, I mean, they were playing the Reds, which, as Dan just mentioned again, they're one of the worst teams in the league. And what was it? The Braves, I think it was top 3, if not, or even top 1. I think it was runs, total runs in the league, or home runs. I think it was one of those two. Anyway, a top scoring team against one of the worst teams. So recipe for betting on an over. So I did, and yeah, that didn't hit. It ended up as I think it was 4-1, and the over was 9.5.
Yeah.
So, and then yesterday, well, was it yesterday or 2 nights ago, where they were playing the Reds, and they lost?
They lost, yeah.
Yeah.
Couldn't believe it. Yeah, that was tough. They won last night, though, so pretty easily, too.
Yeah, and they beat the over last night, so it was like, it was just horrible to watch.
I feel like the Braves are one of those teams that suffer because they're so good, similar to the Astros and the Yankees, where the over line is just set absurdly high.
Yeah.
And I think it's over 9 runs or something today, 9.5. Which is just super, super high. I know St. Louis are a pretty decent team. They're nothing to like turn your nose up to. I actually think probably tonight St. Louis have the upper hand. But yeah, it's just one of those really like difficult games to call with the over under.
Yeah, no, totally. I mean, and even the suggestion. I mean, it's what do you call it? The Braves are betting favorite, I believe. but they've lost 3 of the last 4 games at home.
Yeah.
And like you said, it could be an upset. So again, dive the attention just to mention that it's a hard team to bet on, but not to actually bet on them. But yeah, I mean, let me get your thoughts on quick thoughts on Boston and Tampa, just because I know they're.
God, dude, I don't even want to talk about it because I'm so over Boston. Boston is like on my like no bet list because who did they lose to last week that screwed me? Give me a second and I can like quickly check because it was like an absurd loss that I suffered at the hands of the. Okay, so they're playing against the freaking Cubs, dude. The Cubs, who are just like one of the worst teams right now, and they lost 3-1 against the Cubs, and I've just like kind of stayed. It was a good pitching matchup. They had everyone playing. There was no one missing. The Cubs are on a terrible run. All signs pointed towards Boston Red Sox, and they scored 1 freaking run the whole game.
Really?
So and the thing is, I think Tampa are like a quietly good team. They have a lot of really really good players, and I don't like this one at all. What's the over under on it though?
See, it is 9.
That's pretty high.
Excuse me. I mean,
Yeah.
honestly, they're all about 8.5, 9. The only ones that are not above 8.5 are the Angels against the Marlins and the Mariners against the Padres, both at 7 and 7.5 respectively. Honestly, based on my very limited time betting on MLB, I've hit it on the nail with Angels like 2 or 3 times already. So they're starting to become the team that I like to bet on, but I don't want to get biased on any money line, over whatever it is that I bet on. Regarding the Angels, even if it's them losing, still counts.
Eagles are a fun team to watch, though, man. Like, if I could recommend like one team to watch, especially when Shohei Ohtani is pitching, he's the guy who can both pitch and bat. Okay. Oh my God, he's so freaking good, man. So yeah.
And last but not least, I mean, here's me thinking that it's an easy money line as well with 1.4 almost 1.5 1.4 the Dodgers against the Rockies.
Okay, this is another one where it's for me is a complete stay away from. Okay. I put the Dodgers to beat the Colorado Rockies twice last week, both lost. Dodgers can't beat the Rockies. I don't know what it is. The Rockies aren't that good a team. Dodgers can't beat them.
They beat them yesterday.
I'm seeing trends where I'm like, okay, if a team's playing a certain team, I'm just not looking at it. It looks great. It's like a trap. It's like telling you, please bet me. Like, they had their best pitcher on everything. The Dodgers. They had Clayton Kershaw pitching. He gave up a ton of runs. It was horrible to watch. So, and I hate the Dodgers. So it's So stay away from me anyway.
But context on this, and I don't know if you've noticed, and maybe I'm just here to trigger you a little bit more. But you said you bet on the Dodgers to beat the Rockies twice, and they both lost. The other 2 times that they faced within the last 7 days, they won. So it's actually 2-2.
It's unbelievable. When did I bet on them? Yeah, they lost 4-0 and 7-4 when I bet on them.
And then you're like, done.
Last Monday and Tuesday.
Yeah, and then you were like done, and then the Dodgers beat them 8-4, and then yesterday you beat them 5-3.
Unbelievable. Yeah, I mean, maybe the Dodgers are on a hot streak now. I don't know. I mean, they beat the Padres twice. No, 3 times.
3 times. Yeah, 3 times.
They went 3-1, and then they won last night. But I mean, it was still a close game last night, 5-3.
I mean, look, obviously, like we've been tracking our bets to see what works and what doesn't, and clearly betting on the Dodgers didn't work last week. So let's stay away. I'm happy to stay away.
Okay.
Unless you want to go full in on the Rockies.
If I lost to the Dodgers, I would lose it. I just can't right now. Dodgers against Rockies is a hard no for me.
Fair. Okay, let's talk about. I'm wondering, do we just talk about what's going on for today, or do we also talk about?
Well, it depends if we're wanting to do this daily or bi-daily, every other day, or weekly.
No. Like our bets are definitely going to be for just today. But I was maybe like if we have time just to talk about other sports, just to keep everyone entertained.
Yeah, go for it.
But let's talk about soccer a little bit. I mean, what do we have? I see Champions League qualifying. What is
Yeah,
this?
I actually have a Champions League qualification bet going right now, so I'm
Oh,
watching that
cool.
closely as we speak.
Which team?
It's Malmo against Vikingur
Okay.
Reykjavik. So,
Who do you have winning?
well, I was gonna put Malmo, and then I looked at their recent games, and I think Malmo were like 1-6 in their league. Like the last 7 games, they've
Oh
won
wow.
once, and then Vikingur Reykjavik were unbeaten in their league because
Okay.
the Scandinavian teams play during the summer, and not in the winter, so they're like halfway through their season. Um, so the odds were crazy for Reykjavik to win. They were like 12-1. So I put them on +3 at like 1.4, and they're losing 2-1 right now. They do have a red card though, so I'm like a bit sketched by that. But
What do you
right
mean plus
now,
three? Like they have to, like is that a spread
like
or something?
Reykjavik have start with 3 goals. They're up 3-0, and it's 2-1 right now. So the score and my bet is they're winning 2-4, 4-2.
Oh boy. Okay.
Yeah. So
Good luck.
yeah, I need it.
What else do we have soccer? I mean, we did talk about it a little bit. Sudamericana and Libertadores. Actually, Libertadores is a little bit more interesting. If you ask me, I
I
mean, it's
love Atletico Mineiro. How do you say that?
Mineiro.
Mineiro. Yeah, they were
Mineiro.
my roommate. One of my roommates in college. That was his team. So
Oh yeah. Well, they
yeah.
tie. They're 1-1 on aggregate. So this is the second round, and this is in Ecuador. So it's essentially
So
Brazil
Boca
versus
Juniors
Ecuador.
versus Corinthians tonight.
Sorry.
That's gonna be Boca Juniors
Oh
versus
yeah,
Corinthians.
yeah. That's the
Oh,
one
that's
I'm
gonna be a
looking at.
spicy game.
That's the one I'm craving.
Over 2 red cards.
Damn it, honestly, it's not a bad idea. Look, even what was it, the Sudamericana last week for my team, Universidad Católica versus Sao Paulo. Sao Paulo had 3 or 4
Well,
red
that was that
cards.
game. I remember you talking to me about that one.
Crazy. We still lost 4-2, but to our context, I mean, the red cards did came in late. But still, I mean, it's a little sad. I mean, look, Chilean soccer is terrible. I mean, I have to admit it sucks. Um, but Boca Juniors Corinthians, I don't know why Boca has so like why the odds are so heavily favoring Boca. I mean, Corinthians are not a bad team, at least not to my understanding.
Seems to be a lot of draws though. Like in their last 5 games they played against each other, there's been 3 draws.
Corinthians and Boca.
Yeah. Also, Boca hasn't lost at home to them.
Yeah, Corinthians is top 4 in the league. Boca, I'm assuming, is top 1 or top 2. Never mind. Worth it. 11th. It just started though. 6 matches played. Okay. No, I think I'm on you. I'm onto you in the sense that like maybe bet on a prop instead of the winning team, or maybe goals. But even then, like you said, this has been purely draws.
Yeah.
It's scary. It's scary. I mean, it's hard to touch soccer. I personally stay away from soccer, so you're gonna have to put some expertise on your betting here. Not a huge fan of the 3 possible scores. I prefer like draw no bets than anything. I hate losing to a 90-minute draw and then somebody else wins. I just not ideal.
Honestly, it's just so difficult. South American football, man, is so unpredictable.
Yeah, it is.
It's like the most unpredictable type of soccer you could possibly bet on, I think.
Yeah, it's fun. Don't get me wrong.
It's fun to watch for sure, no doubt. But I mean, the unpredictability of it is ridiculous.
Yeah, this Internacional Colo-Colo is very fascinating because Colo-Colo beat Sudamericana. So Colo-Colo beat Internacional 2-0, and their odds to win are 6-1. 6-1. They already beat them 2-0. Yeah. Obviously, Internacional is going to come out swinging, but damn. Honestly, I don't know. I don't know enough to feel confident about any of these.
Yeah.
Maybe I know enough to know about that my team's gonna lose. So if I were to bet on something, would be Sao Paulo to beat Universidad Católica. I'll probably get hate from that, but it's just the way the cookie crumbles, man. And we're 4-2 down in aggregate, so what do you think about soccer? Should we avoid it? I'm more than happy to avoid it, to be honest.
Avoiding it. I mean, I'm just saying, like, I don't know what the hell. Like, South American football is just not my
Yeah,
thing.
yeah.
I love watching it. Love it. It's just so difficult to predict anything. So,
My. Okay, so let's avoid it for now. What else do we have? I
tennis has
just
already been today.
sorry.
Tennis is done for the day. The basketball, there's no basketball on. Yeah, I think that's it. Unless you have esports.
No, nothing. I mean, what day is it today? Wednesday. Sorry, Tuesday. No, so LCS and LEC, which are essentially the European and the North American leagues, are essentially Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So we can take a look at them later on, and I can talk a little bit about those, which I'm excited to. But I mean, yeah, just to give you a bit of context, I mean, you've been asking me about this because you've seen me. I've been hitting a couple of these,
Yeah.
but yeah, I mean, it's they're very. I feel them very like coin flippy, which with certain teams. I mean, you got your top three teams anywhere, right? But the chances of upsetting is really high for some reason. It's very. I don't know if you know the term snowbally.
Yeah.
So it only takes one or two kills at the beginning, and by kills I mean character kills. It's not for those that don't know. For a team to snowball and take lead. I mean, it is a gold team, like a gold sport. So the more you do, the more gold you have. The more gold you have, the better items you have, and if you have better items, you just have better stats, and with better stats, you win. So it's a very snowbally. So we can definitely talk about teams like Team Liquid, Evil Geniuses, Cloud9, the 100 Thieves, which are the top four teams. But it only takes one little mistake for everything to go to hell. But so far so good. I've been betting on I'm keeping at the low money lines, like 1.3. Anything under 1.3, I'm not even considering it. But after the 1.6, 1.7, it gets a little scary for me. So it's just an easy way to like add on a little bit. It's usually when I see the top two teams versus like the bottom 10, something like that.
Yeah.
But no, it's really fun. But again, it's Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, so we can talk a little bit more about that. And with Bet365, I love this website. You can do so much. I mean, you can bet on who gets the first kill, which team gets the first kill, which is pretty much a coin toss, unless there's stats behind it, which there are. You can bet on who gets the first objective, who the total amount of kills in the game. But again, it's unless you have a lot of stats, it's very unpredictable. So I just stick to the money lines there. Formula One, though. Formula One.
Yeah, give me some Formula One to. I need some insider information because I have made like 3 Formula One bets, and I think I've won one of them, and the other 2 I've lost.
So okay,
Like they were easy, like small bets, and I just get.
This is worth sharing because it's freaking hilarious. I mean, you bet on, so essentially you bet on the first one I remember was Charles Leclerc. He got pole position, which means he starts the race in first place. And you bet on not only that he wins, which is already very safe. I mean, number 1 to start, number 1 to finish is usually it's not a safe bet because a lot of strategy happens, and
Right.
if you're in the front, what I love about this sport is if you're in the front, you're always in a reactive mindset. You can't be proactive about strategies because if you pit, the other team's not going to pit, and you lost position.
Right.
So you're only playing reactively. So that's the only way that betting on the pole to win. It's the toughest side of it would be that, but you didn't do that. You put this guy to finish top 3. So you're betting on the fastest driver at the time to finish top 3 after starting first. And I don't know if you've been following a lot of the memes going around and the news going around in Formula One, but Ferrari has been making mistakes and mistakes and mistakes in pit strategies. It's ridiculous, and it happened again for Leclerc. Again, actually the same. Essentially, he was first. They didn't pit him. He ended up staying in like degraded tires, and he came fourth. So literally the same thing happened. So yeah, in your case, you put him to finish top three, and he finished fourth, which was really really sad. And then you bet on Mr. Consistent, George Russell. He has been amazing, absolutely amazing driver. Slowly just staying in the top five position. Like I think he before the results here, he was actually top four in the driver championship just because he was constantly scoring points.
Yeah.
Maybe not the top points, but he's finishing races, so he's scoring while others aren't, and scoring lower. So you bet on this guy who had he's been finishing top five in all of his races so far, and I believe it's like 9 or 10. Uh, and you bet on him to finish, what was it, top 10?
Yeah, top 10.
Which is nuts. I mean, the guy started, I think,
kind of top 6. I can't remember. I think it was top 10 though.
Okay, well, he's been. If you look at stats alone, which I imagine is what you did, then obviously that's the safest bet. And obviously we can talk about it because I mean Guanju was fine. Nothing happened to him. Thankfully with the halo and all that stuff. It was a terrifying accident, but he's fine. But George came from the consistent man to not finishing a single lap. And I just remember you sending that message, and I'm like, it's just unreal. That paired with what happened before, it's just absolutely ridiculous. I mean, look, you cannot predict accidents. You know that it's not your fault. It's nobody's fault. You know, it just sucks. I mean, the crash itself, people say it's a bit of George's fault, but I think it's just a racing incident. You know, when you have these cars going up at 200 km an hour at the start. All squeezed up because one pressed the accelerator a little bit earlier than the other. You know, things happen. So that, no fault to you. I mean, you can do it again. He'll be back. He'll do fine. He's a consistent driver. Mercedes is looking really good. Not contender, but you know, getting there. But yeah, Ferrari, man, it sucks. They have the car. They have the drivers, but the strategy is just atrocious.
I feel like whenever I watch them, they're fighting like on the radio.
Yeah, constantly. I mean, if you saw this race, Carlos Sainz was like, it was the most ridiculous thing, and they were telling him like to back off to let the Leclerc like go ahead and win some stuff, like to like, you know, give him a 10-second advantage, and Carlos said no because he's like, I have Hamilton and Max and Sergio Perez behind me in a Red Bull and Hamilton driving like crazy. If I back off, they're gonna pass me, and no, he has the younger tires. So he honestly, he just said no, like stop inventing stuff. That was freaking hilarious. He's like, stop inventing. Like,
yeah,
I'm gonna do my own thing, and he ended up winning the race. So he was like a big fu to the team. So insider information, until they set that up, you know, the bet that I did was Ferrari to win. So it was either Leclerc or Sainz. And Sainz had gotten pole, and Leclerc was third.
Very for you because Verstappen was like in the lead for a bit, wasn't he? And I was like, oh, here we go, like he's gonna win.
Yeah, so that's why I put on Max money, because Max has been flying. I mean, Max has been racing incredibly, and he just got really unlucky that he drove over a piece of carbon that got stuck in the back of his car, and it just lost a bunch of power. So thankfully to me that worked. I mean, look, in retrospect, the bet of Ferrari winning was like 2.7 odds, so it wasn't like an easy win, you know? I was just like, okay, well, Ferrari finished first and third, which is literally the most ideal position to start. Not even first and second, actually, because first and second, the second guy doesn't really have any slipstream, right? Because no one's in front. Right. But the third racer always has that slipstream from the first racer, so it's really nice. So I was like, okay, look, as long as they don't mess up the strategies, they should win. So I mean, look, I got lucky with Max, but I think honestly, F1 is really, it's really tough to bet on. I mean, unless you're betting things like top six, top 10 or stuff like that, it's really hard to just bet on who wins. It's pretty much, in this case, it's kind of like a 60-40 toss between Ferrari and Red Bull. So Red Bull is always your safest option, so the odds aren't really that favorable. But if you're looking to just put in a 1.6 odds, to spice it up, and Red Bull are in the front seat, either first or second or third, like, it's guaranteed unless something goes wrong. Again, car degradations and all that, it's a little tough. So far I've been doing well, but I mean, look, you got to look at first practice, and then you got to look at qualies on Fridays and Saturdays. After that, you can kind of get a sense about what's going on.
Yeah, because certain drivers like certain tracks, like they have favorite tracks. So
yeah, I mean, look, Lewis Hamilton was doing amazing because it was his home race. It's he loves that race. And street races versus normal tracks, you can see which cars kind of like perform a little better. I feel like the actual surprise, the actual betting opportunity, which I haven't had the courage to do, is to bet on the slower teams to make it to the points.
Yeah, top 10, right?
Yeah, to land top 10. So if you bet on the McLarens have been having a rough time, Aston Martin having a rough time, Williams to score a point is doable, and I'm pretty sure the bets are there. I mean, one of the drivers is the only guy that hasn't scored a point.
That's easy. Oh yeah, I did see that the other day. Yeah,
go Canada. But the other guy, Albon, again, I'm hoping he's okay. He was part of the crash as well. Alfa Romeo, which is the guy that got the crash, Guan Yu Shu, and Valtteri Bottas, they're doing okay. So I think the opportunity, and we can revisit it later, like for Sunday, on our Saturday stream after qualies, we can revisit the bets for Sunday.
Yeah, I mean let's put one on for our 10 to 1,000 on F1.
Just put it all in. If we're there at 500, just all in on Max Verstappen.
We've made it Sunday without messing up.
And then, yeah, that's true. But yeah, it's again, it's not to say all sports are fun, but yeah, I mean, I'm loving Formula One. It's just really hard to bet on.
Cool.
I was sweating. I was actually in the barber. Hair salon. I wasn't in the barber. I was actually, getting bleached and all that. And I was with my phone, like just checking. Like I couldn't stop. Like I was like, oh, and I couldn't see the race. Right? It was just like the.
I'm shocked that you got your hair done during an F1 race.
I completely missed it. Because I set this appointment because she was my stylist was out in Europe. So I wanted to just book her as soon as she came back, because it's a 5-hour appointment. Like it's 4 or 5 hour appointment to get bleached and all that, So I wanted to make sure I have it, and she only gave me a time for Sunday or during the week, and I can't during the week because of work. So I was like, okay, fine, whatever, it's Sunday, fine. And then I realized that that's freaking F1 race, and not only that, but I was like, okay, the race starts at 10. My hair appointment is at 11:30. I'm gonna be able to watch at least 80% of the race. No, big crash, going red flag. The race gets postponed for like an hour, but it is what it is. Maybe me not watching actually won me the money. So
That's true.
Honestly, I'm starting to think that my watching has an impact, but obviously that's everyone's gambling kind of like 100%. Fallacy. It's like if I watch, they lose. If I don't watch, they win. Even my friends tell me never to bet on the race. I still do it. I just don't tell them. But I only tell him when I win. But yeah, he's like, no, please stay away, because he actually got into like baseball betting for like a split for like a week, and is that Marcus MDH? Is that Marcus? I bleached my hair. You missed it. It's a little pink, but it looks a little bleached. I've been doing this for a while though, so clearly you haven't looked at the channel enough, huh?
Marcus is apparently a baseball expert now. We should according to Omar. Yeah, Omar said that he was he's big into baseball, so maybe he can throw us his pick of the day in here.
Well, Marcus, what's your pick of the day? We'll wait because it's a little bit delayed, and we'll see it in the comments. But we went for, well, not yet. We haven't decided.
We haven't decided yet. We need to talk about that.
what was it? Yankees money line or the spread.
That's 1.5. Yeah,
Then you have the Astros money line or the spread -1.5, and
yeah.
then one more that we were looking at.
New York
Mets.
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 Yeah,
Yeah. We decided not to do soccer, so I'm assuming we can fairly decide that we're all we're doing today is baseball.
yeah, yeah.
When
Easily.
when are the games, by the way?
Uh, I know the Yankees against Pirates is at like 7 because I'm going, and then the
True.
Astros is like an hour later, like 8:10, 8:15, something like that.
Okay, so they're not anytime soon.
No, no, no. I don't think there's no game afternoon games of baseball today. I think there are
Okay.
tomorrow, but not today.
Yeah, I see. Mets is at 6:40, so that's the first game.
That's the earlier one. Okay.
Okay, so I mean, look, do you want to keep it simple for our first time? We can,
I'll keep it simple. All right,
Yeah.
you choose one, and I choose one. Let's do it like that. We roll it into a little double.
so we're going to do a double or a triple?
Let's do a double. I don't
Okay.
want to. I don't really want to touch. I don't want to touch the. Well, you can touch the Mets if you want, but I don't really.
Okay.
I don't really feel good about it.
Okay. Okay, so let's do Astros and Yankees. If we do both spreads, I'm just gonna give us the range. So if we do a spread, we get, I don't know why I'm getting a 5% bonus, but I'll take it. 3.3 odds. And then if we only
Pretty
do,
good.
huh?
That's pretty good.
Yeah, it's pretty freaking good. And if we only do money
Money
line,
line should be
we
like just under 2.
do, I think it's just above 2.
Oh, it's just above 2. Oh, I think
It's
I'll take that.
2.1.
I think I would take just because it's our first one, and these. I don't know. I feel like the Yankees will absolutely smoke the Pirates.
So, what do you think of doing?
Yankees -1.5, Astros money line.
Okay, that or put 5 on both money line and 5 on both spreads.
Okay.
You don't seem too confident in that.
No, I like it. Let's do that then.
So, because 5 money line would give us 10.50, and
So it would
then
make 50 cents if they didn't come in the other way.
Okay. So, which spread are you more confident in?
Yankees.
Yankee spread?
Just because I know the Astros are playing their old teammate. I feel like anything can happen. He could have like the night of his life, and it could be really difficult for the Stros.
Okay.
I don't know.
So you're more
But Yankees,
confident
I
than.
feel like they're just gonna smoke the Pirates.
Okay. So if that's the case, then let's do. Okay. I can see the big difference in doing this, but if I were to do.
Me going to the game, cheering for the Pirates, but knowing in the back of my head, like I need the Yankees to win by more than 1 run.
just wear a freaking Yankee shirt under.
Hell no, I hate the Yankees are like the Tottenham Hotspur to me of baseball. I hate them.
Fair.
So I'm gonna be a big
Uh,
Pirates fan, but in the back of my head, I'll be like, I'm okay with them losing here.
Well, we have Marcos saying here. If we're talking about the Padres Mariners game, we didn't talk about that game, but he did say Astros easy. So
Yeah.
that's what we're thinking about.
Glad he
doing.
agrees with the Astros.
So we're definitely
No,
thinking of.
the Padres against the Mariners is an interesting one, but I also I really hate the West Coast games that are on late, like 10 p.m. Just because I'm in bed like by the time
Yeah.
they're like halfway through the game, and I can't like stay up and watch the game. So that's why I tend to like stay away from super late West Coast
Yeah.
games.
So look, if we do 10, like put the $10 on both money line, we can make what 21, right? 21 point something. If we do 5 on Astros money line, and like with Yankees money line, we get 10.50 out of that, and then 5 on same Astros money line, but actually doing the spread for the Yankees game, we'll do 12.90, which at the end of the day is just an extra $1. So I'm thinking that that's not really worth the spreading it out, or
Split. Yeah.
yeah, it's splitting it because either way we need the Astros to win.
Yeah.
And whether the Yankees win by 1 or 2 will essentially mean that we'll get, like you said, we'll only earn 50 cents. So
Right.
I'm more inclined to just going all in on the money lines.
I like that.
What about you?
Yeah, I feel as though we should ease into it. Two easy picks. And now that I'm saying they're easy, they're probably both gonna
Yeah.
lose. But
They're gonna suffer. Okay, so games at you're gonna be in the Yankees one, so I'll let you watch that. I need to get MLB TV, man. Do you have a?
it's kind of I have so I have like Peacock, Apple TV, ESPN Plus.
Okay, but I have Apple TV. But how do you watch in Apple TV though? Every time I go to
Well,
Apple TV,
Apple TV, there's only select games on for Apple TV.
there's only what?
So like there's only like select games that are on
Okay,
Apple
okay.
TV. So like the Astros have played twice in the last like 2 weeks on Apple TV.
Okay. Okay. So
Yeah, MLB package is $24.99 a month. It's kind of expensive.
yeah, if that zone is around. It's less than that, and it gives me a lot more.
Yeah.
A lot more sports, but hockey's the same. Huh? I mean, and even Sunday night, Sunday ticket, NFL ticket.
Yeah.
The zone is insane. The zone should honestly, I would pay $30 a month if it has all the sports. 30,
Yeah.
40 bucks a month.
Yeah.
I don't watch TV. I just
We're-
watch.
We're kind of lucky that like the local channels, so like we get like Steelers, Pirates, Penguins, all free because they're in like our area.
Mhm.
So like every game we get to watch of theirs, but it's like the out of market ones like that are on Fox and ESPN that'll be, you have to pay for.
Yeah. All right. Well, locking it in.
Lock it in.
All right. $100.
Yeah, go hard straight away.
Done. Okay. So we'll see each other tomorrow. Tomorrow. Sorry?
Either as winners or losers.
Yeah. Thanks, Marcus. By the way, he just clarified Apple TV is only Fridays.
Oh, okay, cool. Actually, also, by the way, YouTube TV has one MLB game a week, I think.
Okay. For free?
So I
Or
think
with
they're
the-
afternoon games. So I'll let you know when the next one's on because I always watch it during like work. I put it on in the background.
Yeah, I
My
got
Alex.
my fiance's gonna be gone for the whole week, so gotta.
Yeah.
Maybe this is the
Are
time
you-
to watch
what,
baseball.
what game are you going to be watching tonight? I mean, I'll probably catch the last 3 innings of the Astros by the time I get home. Obviously, I'm at the game tonight for the Yankees. What game are you going to be watching?
I want to watch the Astros play. I've never. Huh?
Astros are a really fun team, man.
Yeah, I've never watched them. I've always hated them because of the whole scandal, and I've never given them a second chance. So I feel like everyone deserves a second chance. But I don't know. I always every other person I talk to that is not you says Astros is the team to hate in the MLB. You know.
Yes, but every baseball team cheated, so it's like the Astros are just the one that got caught.
Got caught.
Yeah, like nobody can say their team didn't cheat when like the Red Sox and Yankees were also caught doing the same thing, but the Astros are the only ones who got really in trouble for it. So it is what it is.
Why do you think Texas teams are so hated? I mean, me personally, I have the same sentiment with Massachusetts teams. I hate Boston teams.
I hate Boston and New York teams. And LA teams, too.
Yeah, LA too. Hockey. I hate the Kings. TBH. Yeah. Hate is a strong word, guys. Hate. Let's not hate.
Sports terms.
Yeah.
It's just like I dislike them really, but like when I hate them.
But yeah, Bruins. Oh, anyway. All right. So we'll call it there. We'll revisit tomorrow. I'm probably gonna try and catch the Astros game, if not the Yankees game, so you can do a little bit of like waving.
Nice. I didn't even know where I'm sitting, to be honest.
I need to go visit you, and I want to go to the Braves game against Pirates. But I'm debating. I'm debating on whether meeting you is worth 20 hours of bus rides.
Probably not. Oh yeah, August 22nd. Oh, that's kind of far away.
Where? What?
It's on August 22nd,
oh, yeah,
23rd.
The Braves game? Yeah. It's either that or do what I was telling you about. Stay an extra week in the U.S. and go to yours, and then we meet in Buffalo and watch.
Yeah, I mean, if I were you, choosing between watching Pirates versus Braves or Packers versus Bills, there's a strong lean towards Packers versus Bills.
Absolutely.
It's
all a matter of whether I can change my flight, because I already have my flight back, right? So I'd have to find a way to change it, and I also did it through points, so
Oh yeah.
It's gonna
Uh,
be a little tricky. I did it with like
uh,
rewards, so
talk to Omar about it.
yeah, that too. Because if I can't stay, then obviously it makes no sense. Anyways, thanks guys for watching. Hopefully we'll see you here tomorrow. Definitely, even if we lost, we'll probably just
We'll own it. We'll own it
we'll own it
tomorrow.
exactly. And then we'll just keep on giving our bad picks. Maybe it'll tell you what things not to bet. No, who knows? But like it says at the bottom, this is not gambling advice, so please gamble at your own risk. And hope you enjoy watching us breaking bank or